The Mike and Tony Show is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Yo, this is Duncan from Relate, and you're listening to the Mike and Tony Show.
You would be annoyed with me.
Not at all.
I'd be doing so much stuff in the chair.
You are going to be great. I can already tell she's going to be great on the podcast. She likes to talk. It's episode 180.
She won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to introduce the show already. No, I'm just kidding. Episode 187, Pierce. We should just go ahead and introduce our guest. Jordan Yewey is here with us today.
Singer-songwriter.
Yes,
Jordan
sir.
Yewey.
Yes, sir. How was your week? How have you been? How's life? That's a long pause this week.
Thinking about what I did. A lot of work stuff and getting ready for a conference next week. So had to bang out a whole bunch of shit and get done. And
it's always fun.
Yeah, but yeah, then next week is conference time, and conference time is always fun because you let loose.
Well, you're like the master of conferences now, right? You're like the big. For CAFA anyway.
Yeah. President-elect.
Let's go.
President-elect.
People got what they wanted.
Yes. I'm changing my title, though. I'm not going to be president. I'm calling it King CAFA. I'm going to be King CAFA.
It sounds like the last guy on a video game.
Yeah.
Last level. King CAFA. So it's really great to have you here. You have a lot of personality. I kind of wish we were recording before we even started. But
God, we weren't.
So people who don't know Jordan Yewey, tell a little bit about what you do and what your passions are.
Oh God, that's it's like when you're in a job interview and they're like, "Tell me about yourself," and you're like, "Well, what do you want to
tell me about a time when you had to do something you didn't agree with?" That's always the standard interview question.
I'm like, well, what do I do? I'm a singer-songwriter. There you go. That's it. That's all I do.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I'm like, that's it. That's what I
like the simplicity of it. So me and Mike spent a lot of time listening to your music.
Oh, yeah. Did you?
Yeah. Very good. You have an extremely good voice.
Oh, thank you.
Like with a pop sensibility. There's something about it. I was curious, do you write everything solo yourself? Do you do all the writing by yourself?
Yes.
Incredible.
Except for the literally one song I wrote with Megan, that you guys know.
Megan Clarice,
yeah, but I don't know. I don't play well with others. I'm just kidding. No. I just have never, no one in my family is musical. Like in my immediate family, it turns out, I come to find out later, like there's a bunch of people in my extended family, but like no one in my immediate family was musical. So like music's always been just like something I would retreat and do.
Thing.
And then like, I didn't obviously get into that like gigging space and like doing it professionally until a couple years ago. So like even when I was just working my regular job and shit, it was always just me going home and writing by myself. I didn't know any other musicians. None of my friends were musicians.
Interesting.
So like I feel like that's easier. I would like to try and do like more collab stuff, but I feel like when you have it all like, I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on who you're working with. You're a musician. What do you think?
Well, I relate to that a lot because that was always me. I was always the solo guy. That's why I got into loop pedals so that I could provide my own kind of stuff. Looking back on when I was doing music more regularly, I think collaboration is good, but who knows? I mean, I feel like sometimes if you've got that was my first question I told Pierce because clearly you have a great voice. Is that you playing the guitar too?
That's me playing the guitar.
Beautiful guitar playing. Everything's in place.
My best friend is the drummer, so that is somebody that I have
other question you had too.
collabed with.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Great drummer.
Yeah, she's freaking amazing.
You need a bass player.
That's what everyone says. I'm like, we're out there like, but I mean, it's one of those things where like that, when it comes to collabing, like that was first, I didn't even know she played the drums. We were best friends like before she played the drums or like before I knew that. And she said she played the drums and I was like in like the march, like I thought she just meant like in fucking marching bands. Like, and then like at one point it just occurred to me cause she had like brought it up when we were out and she's like, no, like I have like a drum set. And I was like, oh, so you play like the drums.
Like you really
like, yeah. But like to just cut to it, like the reason why that works though is that like she doesn't write anything. Like she comes with ideas. Like when I play the songs, like this will sound good. There's a fill and stuff, yeah. But like most of the time, I'm like, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and then we go from there. And she's not like, oh my God, like I want to change the song to this and this. And like she'll bring it out, but it's not like combative and in a way that I feel like maybe some things like when you're in a band, I can see if people want to write, like that's what my biggest fear is like being a total bitch when I'm like with someone and being like, I don't really fucking like that. And I've been writing songs for 20 years and I think that's absolute ass. So like
typical rock star. For real though,
like,
for real.
You know what I mean? Like I just like, so I'm so comfortable with myself, but that's the only reason why that really worked is also like we were already friends. So like the honesty is there where I'm like,
yo, no,
I don't fucking like that. Yeah. And she's like, okay, that's like, I totally get it. And she does not take anything personally.
Perfect. Yeah. So you need to find a bass player that's the same way.
You need to find a bass player that's also dead inside, and we're just all dead inside in there. Just
I play a little bass. So
okay, well, come freaking jump in. I love it.
Well, so.
He said
that'll be the band.
Remember, he said he's a middle school teacher. So.
Yeah. I've been dead inside. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love that. When I heard it, yeah. So, and that's what I mean is I really wouldn't give the advice like you need to collaborate more. I know people would have said that to me, but sometimes you get so much yourself. Do you play any other instruments, by the way?
I can play the keyboard, so like I know how to, or like the piano.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have a piano, but
Yeah.
I can translate everything onto like the piano, and then when I like do any of my like the newer stuff I'm putting out, like it's just me doing all of it.
Exactly. That's where I was going. That's what I was curious about because that's how I always did everything too.
Okay.
And I definitely had people along the way tell me it wasn't a smart move and you shouldn't go that route because it's just better to have other minds and then they bring other things. But then, Dancing in the Sunshine, which is Mike's favorite song that I've ever done.
Ooh,
I have 28 versions of it. Yeah. And his favorite is some YouTube one where it's just me and my guitar. Yeah, but I went into a studio, paid lots of money. I spent an entire weekend or maybe it was 2 weekends there. Literally stayed overnight and stuff. Like was all in doing it.
Okay.
And it's I'm no offense to them. It's a great studio, but I think it's more like
I thought it was overproduced.
It was overproduced.
So
I think it's hard. Like I think coming into this space, like we ended up doing like the stuff that you were listening to was literally like my best friend Brooke, the drummer, like knew her friend. She's also a trainer, like at the gym. Her dad had a studio in a barn in the mountains, and that's why it's called the Jamestown Sessions. It's like that's where we went to record it, and like he helped mix a lot, like make it sound better. But like I mean, it was basically like someone was pressing record, and we were just in there doing it, like. That's how we would play it live.
What would have been fun would to bring some family and friends in there in the background. Seriously.
Oh, there is
and do a performance.
There's children in there. There's like straight up like they were running around doing shit. Like there's like, I mean you can't hear it because it's like all closed off. But like I think I don't know. Everyone else have like gone to meet with producers or do things. One, I'm broke as shit, so like they're like. I'm sure it's worth the money, like to have someone that knows what the fuck they're doing. But I don't have the money, so I'm like, nope.
Well, here's the other thing. I think that's the lesson I learned from that studio is that it's great to have the money, but it has to be twofold. You have to have the money, and it has to be the right people in the right studio that, like with your friend, you have some sort of a relationship already with. If we don't
have a song done, like if we haven't done a song already, how do I even know that like you're going to produce something that I even fucking like?
I can guarantee you before I went in there, they didn't listen to any of my music.
Yeah, well,
they listened to the one song I was coming in to record, and then they sort of had their vision of it. So there's something to be said for being on your own. And and here's the thing, what's his name? Oliver Anthony.
Yeah.
You don't need all that shit anymore. If you've got a great song, he recorded it on his phone.
Yeah.
And he does these all the time where he's like literally out by a creek somewhere and he's just got his phone on and he's just recording from his phone. Yeah. Puts it on the internet. It's like 1 million views. You're like, whoa.
The stuff I'm working on right now, before, like long time ago, I would just write everything in a notebook and just like it's in there. It's in the it's in the catalog in the back of my brain. But like up, at a certain point, probably like, God, I mean, it's not even that long ago, but like 5 or 6 years ago, I would just like record voice memos. Like that's what I've been doing. Like I have like 1,600 voice memos on my thing.
I'm the same.
But like to your point, when I was trying to redo some of these tracks for the new thing, like album I'm putting out, I go back and listen to them and I'm like, this is from like a phone that's like 5 or 6 years old. And like, this still doesn't sound that fucking bad. Right. Like, I just don't think, I think when you go talk to producers and stuff, like, I know like people have ears for this type of stuff, but I'm like I'm not trying to pitch this to like producers. I'm like, I'm just trying to put my music out to have people listen to it.
Yep.
And I don't think they're in there like, is this fake drums? I don't think they give a shit because Taylor Swift's using fake drums, like, and using beats. No one's up there like, what is this shit?
Well, and I stopped. I stopped with all that just because of my style. Like, it wasn't fitting. Remember, we had this conversation where I was overproducing my own stuff and not an excellent music producer. So it was just like a lot of junk going on all the time. So for me, it was simplifying it. But no, whatever your vision is, I think is what matters. And you're right, because the people listening to you, it's not like, was there any song you didn't enjoy where we were like, the only thing I did was I wanted more bass. I wanted bass.
No,
I love
it's
bass.
Missing like. It's, like now that I have started to like try and mix more stuff, like it is missing those frequencies. Like it has like, it's just me and her, you know what I mean? Like it's missing that like low frequency that a bass would bring into it. But it was
they're still great to listen to though. It doesn't make me not listen to the song. I was just, because I produce stuff too. So I hear that, but.
That's what people say a lot. But I mean, Brooke, like to her point, when I was like, I'm a perfectionist. So like I was being such a bitch when we were recording this. Hi, Brooke. I love you. But because I think I just had this idea of like what I wanted to be in my head, like, like this fully producing. And she was like, well, look, if people come to fucking see us live, this is what it's going to sound like. And I was like, you know what? You're fucking right. Like there's those tracks, they're from start to finish. There's no editing in it. Like I think the only thing that's like, we did some like overlay vocals in My Next Ex-Boyfriend, but like, that's it.
It just
like
is what it is.
Literally we're playing together. Mm-hmm. I'm singing. The singing's shit at some points, like because it's like
no.
No, yeah. Okay, for me, there's like points where I'm like, okay, like I think I could probably do it better. There's things I could do better, but I appreciate that looking back, like even going into recording my new stuff that she said that, because I was like, I do like one take vocals now, and I'm like, there's some things I don't like, and I'm like, that's fucking fine. Like unless it's something that you can't hear, like it's like like
too quiet,
it's
or
missing,
like
yeah.
That. Yeah.
Or even then, I'll just like try and overlay it so it's louder. But I'm like, if you come and see me, that's what it's gonna sound like. So I don't know what the point in trying to be perfect is anymore.
Yeah, because that's the other thing, right? Is that they hear some super highly produced song and they come out to see you, and it's just you and your guitar or whatever.
Yeah, and that's.
I remember going to see like shows. I remember back in the Crazy Town, the song Butterfly. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so I remember like listening to that, and then I went to a Crazy Town show, and then listening to them live, you're like, oh my God, this sucks. Like,
oh my gosh.
You're like, this sucks bad.
That's funny.
You know, like like you said,
this sucks bad.
Like just the editing that goes into it, and when you want to hear that same music you heard on the damn CD. Or on the radio, and then when you go and see it, you're like, this is not the same.
Yeah. So there's something to be said for that. Yeah. And I don't think people like it does. It's not going to stop anybody from listening to it if it's a great song, unless it's so bad it's hard to listen to. But that's almost not possible anymore, unless you're going back in time and pulling out an old 4-track or something. Yeah. Like just turn your phone on. It's way better than any 4-track we ever used to use.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like looking back. I was such a bitch about it because I wanted it to be like this whole thing, but it was such a good experience because it was just like helped me relinquish like that sort of perfectionism that I had. And then like, so now like when I'm doing stuff, I'm like, well, that's what it's going to sound like. So like, that's the one take vocals right there. And that's what it is. And that's my guitar playing. So if it's shit to you, that's what you're going to hear on the track. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think that's the right approach. And I think you keep calling it being a bitch, but I think it is, I think it's knowing your vision and just being like, I'm not really compromising. Like I know what I want because
I guess that's true.
Because I've had the opposite problem where I don't speak up and then the end product, you're like, Dancing in the Sunshine is like a perfect example. And because that was one of those things, like those vocals, bro, when I was laying harmonies, it was like hours and hours of laying them. They wanted them just perfect. And it was like, I would never do this on my own.
Yeah.
I would never lay this 1,000 times. I would lay I'd be like, oh, that's got a tweak here. Oh, I'm a little pitchy there. It is what it is. And I did the auto-tune thing for a little bit too. I played with it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
I hate it as well.
It doesn't sound real.
Well, and I have like I've only done like anything, the only other thing I've done like that's out, I did a song with my friend Bob Dow. He's a rapper. And I remember going in there and I have a really strong vibrato. I don't like try and do it. That's just the way I sing. Mm-hmm. And on that track, I sing like really, I don't even know what it's called, just like straight notes. Cause he's like, can you not do this? Like, not him, vibrato? The producer. Yeah. Like, cause it's a freaking rap song, but, and it's just like a higher pitch song. So, I mean, it makes sense and it sounds freaking amazing. But, to your point, like, I only sing like myself. I only sing my own notes.
Yes.
And when I sing like vibrato, like if you try and auto-tune that, it sounds so fucking weird. Like it's I
think that's why auto-tune didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I am kind of pitchy. I just always have been. It's how I sing. I sing like a dude with a deep voice singing reggae music. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it is what it is. It's not perfect, but for me, the emotion part is like a little more important.
I agree. I think that's like
you would probably pick my stuff apart though because I leave all of it. And if you think yours sounded
no, not even. I'm not like that's just a like
self-criticism.
Yeah. It's not like I don't know. I love like all types of music and I usually don't like sit and listen to other people's music. I'm like, that's fucking shit. I'm never like, I'm more like listen to people's stuff and I'm just amazed. Like, especially now being in the music scene, I go out and I think people think I'm like high or something, but I'm like, oh my God, like this is so fucking cool.
High on music.
To listen to other people and like how they write stuff and it's totally different than what you write. Like no one, you know what I mean? I just think that shit's so cool.
And which is why I think it's so important to not overproduce and to make sure that your authentic voice is what's coming through.
That's
what's your favorite song in your Jamestown sessions?
I think Lovers.
Okay.
Is that you're like, what?
No, it's not that.
His was Shot on Whiskey.
Yeah, the whiskey song.
People love Shot of Whiskey.
And
I go down like Shot
mine was I'm on One.
Those are usually the two. Yeah. So like those are the two that I get the most, which I totally get because I also love those ones.
Well, there's something about your songwriting though. Like when I first started writing songs, I felt like I was good at coming up with melodies. I was really good at putting progressions together. Yeah. And then words, I was sloppy. I was raised on Kurt Cobain and Pearl Jam. And you know what I mean? Like, I was sloppy. I'd be like,
I love me some Kurt Cobain and then there's Pearl Jam.
Yeah, me too. But there's times where people are like, what does that mean? And you're like, I don't know. It fit. And over the years, that changed a lot for me. I started becoming because I realized that so few people really intently listen to lyrics. So many times people, it's the beat, it's the music, it's whatever. I always tell the story about my wife listening to hardcore rap when we got together. She didn't know what they're talking about. Or like
that song, one of the funniest ones I think is like, all the other kids with the pumped up. That song I'm like, is about like mass shootings and people are just like in their car raving to it. I'm like, is anyone listening to this fucking song?
It's almost voodoo what you can do with music.
It's insane.
You have this beautiful, catchy melody and a great beat to go with it.
Yeah.
You could put whatever you want. But no, what I was going to say though is that you are a very nuanced songwriter. Like your lyrics are really good. And I think the whiskey one really hits me because of the concept. It's just such a great idea for a song and it works really well. So I respect that. And
that makes me feel good because I feel like I'm a pretty simple songwriter. Like I'm not like poetic, I would say.
No, you're precise.
Yeah. Like, and someone once was like, they didn't mean it in a bad way, but I just remember like posting a video a long time ago and they were like, I love your songwriting. It's like really simple. And I was like, the fuck is this guy saying? Fuck you. But then I was like, like he didn't mean it in a weird way. I just remember sitting on that though for a long time because I'm like,
you're like this motherfucker, right?
Well, one of my favorite songs is I Won't Back Down, like by Tom Petty.
Ugh.
And that is the simplest fucking songwriting that you could pretty much ever do. Like a lot,
he is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, and like I sat on that for a really long time because like also I grew up with like freaking emo music and stuff where I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, so I for a while when I was writing songs when I was a teenager, I was like, I'm not like poetic. Like I don't know, like I'm not using all these things that are like really hard to interpret and can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. I'm kind of just like to the fucking point. But to that point, I'm like, there's a lot of people that are like that, and like I love like that song will never not hit me. Like I Won't Back Down will always just hit me.
So when did you start doing music? Like when did you start getting into it?
And forever. I'm like I asked my dad to buy me a guitar when I was like 4 or 5. I didn't start actually like playing guitar till later. I kind of like self did stuff, but I don't know. It's always just been there.
And you've been playing guitar for how long?
Oh my God. Almost 20 years now.
Okay. Wow.
Should be way fucking better at this point.
I feel the same way. That's funny. Because again, I'm the same kind of guitar player I am singer. Maybe you are too.
Yeah.
I play the way I play. Like I learned to play the way I play, and I'm not trying to tackle some crazy complicated thing that I don't. But I was I'm surprised. You look very, very young. And me and Mike both had you pegged for like maybe 20. Something
Thank
like
God.
that. But
I was
then,
like, thank God, because now that I was like, I'm gonna jump back into the music and shit. Like they gotta don't look old this shit. Because people don't like old people.
You don't at all. Trust me.
And old women, absolutely not. They're not having that shit.
Unfortunately, that's kind of a reality that exists. What was I going to say? Oh, but you had a song that you said you were 27.
Yes. I'm on one. I just 27. Yeah. So I'm 31 now. I gotta
wow.
But I wrote that song. Yeah, like
what is that you're drinking?
Ago.
What is this? A magic potion? Like what?
Right.
Of course.
No, like legit. That's what we thought. We really,
guys, I was
we literally
so
thought.
late.
No, we legit really thought you were like 21, 22.
That's. I mean, I get all the time. Like people, I'll be at gigs. Like literally last week, someone was like, I finished my song and they're like, Wait, how old are you? We have a bet. It was like a table, like two couples, and I was like, how old do you think I am? And they were like, 21, like, because I'll have a drink, so they'll be at least like 21, and they or 22. I'm like, no, but I get that all the freaking time.
Wow, that's
it's all the chemicals that are inside these things. It's preserving her from the inside out.
All this.
Have you seen that? Like memes? Or like those reels where they're like millennials. They're like, did the preservatives preserve us? Because they're like, we look younger. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it is. It is pretty crazy, but that happens all the time. You know, like even my grandfather, dude, chain smoked and drank every single day his whole life, and he's about to turn 90.
Honestly,
what are you gonna do?
I mean, I think it was obvious. I'm spiritual, so I'm like, there's a spiritual element to it. Like, I don't know.
I think that's a big part, right?
Yeah, I think
you have to have some sort of side, of spiritual side to your life.
If you're meant to die, you're meant to die. I don't know. Like, so, like that sounds fucking terrible, but like, you know, obviously, like, there's people that eat clean and do a bunch of stuff and
get hit by a car.
Yeah. Get cancer and just things like that. It's just the world's kind of nuts that way. So I think like there is some weird element to it. Obvious. There's got to be.
Yeah. Do you have any vices? Do you drink coffee?
Yes, I actually got this because I was running so late when I was on my way here, and I was like, I'm not going to stop through the Starbucks, like, because who knows?
Sometimes it's a hit or miss. You might be there
years
for
long.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't add that onto the time. I felt so bad already, but I had to get gas, because I didn't want to. I'm a girl, so I didn't want to stop to get gas on the way home. To me, that is
such a stressful feeling when you're going to run out of gas and you're late.
Which is pretty much my MO. Like people are like, why am I so stressed out? I'm like, maybe because I'm always fucking late with no gas. And like, I don't know.
Uncaffeinated.
Uncaffeinated. That's the worst. So I have narcolepsy, so I don't take any medications for it.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're really intense as of right now. Hopefully, like, you know, as time goes on, they get different. But they just kind of mask. So you could take a lot of downers at night and a lot of uppers during the day, basically, to simplify it. So I do need caffeine because I'm like a fucking zombie if I don't get it on certain days, or like if I don't sleep like a certain amount, like, yeah.
So I was just looking at it. So it was like narcolepsy, because I think we all think of it as like that thing where people just
when they told me I had narcolepsy, I was like, no, I don't.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, it just,
when do I go to sleep? Right? Like, when do I go to sleep?
I mean, yeah, no, seriously, like, because like, I mean, I grew up watching just like a bunch of comedies. Yeah. Like, I knew Deuce Bigelow. I'm like, I'm not this fucking bitch that's bowling and falls asleep or whatever she does. And she falls asleep in her soup.
Has anything like that ever happened where you unexpectedly fell asleep?
Yes. So like that, I mean, it is part of it. Like that is definitely part of it. But like, I don't know how to explain it to people because I've had it my entire life without like, I didn't know until I was
what I'm getting
18.
is I'm investigating if there's a connection to how young she looks.
No.
I don't think so. If anything, I think I'll probably die sooner because I mean, like, it's not good for you because essentially, if you want me to break it down for you, like I read like every book in the goddamn library when I went to college because I just about narcolepsy, but it's like a sleep wake disorder. So like your brain knows when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake. And like for a person with narcolepsy, your brain doesn't. So because of like, there's just a certain chemical that's missing. I won't break it all down, but so like we get really shitty sleep. So like even if it's hard to explain, like at night I don't go into like regular sleep cycles. So like I don't get like deep sleep. So like,
do I have narcolepsy? Do you have narcolepsy?
A lot of people actually have it. So like, but it basically, I mean, that's all it is. So like at night I wake up like every hour, every 2 hours. Like I have a hard time going to sleep because like insomnia is also part of it because it's like I don't have like internal regulation. But
the listeners know we talk a lot about sleep. I got an Oura ring. We're always talking about it.
Okay.
And he tried to tell his doctor he was one of those sleepless elites. So he's like, I only need like 4 hours of sleep. Well, I'm that guy. And the doctor.
But do you ever get tired though?
No.
Oh, see, that's not it. I'm like, because it's don't worry. You will freaking know. Like, it's like, do you sit in like I mean, God, the signs were all there. I don't know how people missed them. Like, I basically went to my parents because I fell asleep. Like, I almost fell asleep when I was driving one time. And I literally was like,
oh yeah, that's scary.
I was on my way to my guitar lesson. I'll never forget it. And I literally went home and I was like, I was 17. I was like, something's wrong. Like, clearly, like I had been told like multiple times throughout my life, like I'd fall asleep in class. I'd fall asleep like after I eat a big meal or after I eat carbs. I'm fucking out. Like I have to take a nap. Like there's pretty much at all times. Like there in the car, if I'm not driving, I'm sleeping. Like there
How do you look like this? I don't understand. Like if I get one bad night of sleep, I look in the mirror. I'm like, oof. My students told me that they said that I look crudo.
What does that mean?
It means raw, but it's a slang term for hungover. For hungover.
Damn, dog.
I mean, I'm Mexican. That's all.
I haven't heard that. That's what Jay's girlfriend says too.
Huh. Damn,
that's what I chalk it up to.
This because like when I don't drive, if I'm a passenger, it's instant. I will fall asleep.
Then you should. I mean, I don't. It's really easy. They just go and like you do your nights. Like they do. Also, I had to get like freaking hooked up to all this stuff. But now they do like in-home sleep tests and stuff. And you can probably tell them just looking at stuff. But I really like talking about sleep and not just like narcolepsy, but just the idea of sleeping and dreaming and all those things because obviously it's such a constant thing for me. Like every day, like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to eat, then I'll take a nap. Like, or do you know what I mean? Like and every time I fall asleep, so like I pretty much dream. So like, cause I'll go into like most people.
So you get REM.
Yes.
But not deep.
Not deep most of the time. So like that's pretty much the problem. Like that's the problem is that so you're constantly doing that. He's like
he's worried, but I'm a little worried too. I guess I don't know what mine is, but I don't think I have narcolepsy.
What is like? Yeah, I'm really curious. Why'd you get your ring and what is it with the sleeping?
I've always been like Mike. My whole life I was the guy who was like I didn't think I was one of those people, but I just forced it. I was like I'd sleep on 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours a night, and I would just get through everything. Did that from the time I was like 15 through most of my adult life.
Okay.
And then all this stuff's coming out. I read this book, Why Do We Sleep? And I was like, holy shit, I'm going to die tomorrow. Like,
that's how I mean, that's how I feel. That's why when you were like, yeah, how are you? I'm like, I don't sleep. Like, so my shit's all fucked up probably on there.
God, I wonder about my other niece too. She's the same way. She came here and didn't sleep for like 2 days. And she was like, I can't sleep. I never sleep.
That's nuts. So I'm like, I could not, like, I look at people, like my mom, for example, is like, she is a fitness instructor and a dental assistant. Like she is go. She wakes up, and like goes throughout her whole day. And like, sometimes I just sit and wonder, I'm like, what would it be like to go a fucking entire day and not feel tired and like not have to be like, I'm going to eat and take a nap. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So like yesterday, I don't think I took a nap. The day feels like,
can I ask you a question?
Long as hell.
Are you still like this all the time? Like you have a really high energy vibe. Like
no.
This guy.
There's a lot of times like I also don't get out that much. Sorry.
I'm with you.
Let's be honest. I don't get the fuck out. I mean, I sing for people like now, like that's what I slowly do, right? But it's like I spend a lot of time alone and I spend a lot of time just like very quiet. Sometimes I don't even like listen to anything. Like I just sit in silence.
Yeah.
Like no is the answer. Like I'd take a lot of like regeneration to like get back out and do stuff like this. But you guys also are like, I don't know. I walked in here and I was like, oh, there's some people, you know, and you just meet and you're like, okay, this is, I don't know. I could talk to you and be like around you and be like vibrant. And some people, it feels exhausting. I don't know if you guys ever feel that way.
Oh, definitely.
Like some people are like, well, how's your life?
Not
and
him.
I'm like, good. I don't know. Like, I don't. So there is times like I knew I was going to come in here and talk to you guys, but like there is sometimes people like talk to me about stuff and I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you guys like that?
Oh, 100%. I'm like that. Well, to an extent though, but I really I think that's why we do the podcast. We both have this quality. I love talking to people. I know you do too. Pierce.
Yeah.
Like just at work, I like getting to know different people, but there's certainly people that just drain your energy and you're just like.
Also, I like talking to people too. Yeah.
Go to the bathroom at home.
Bye.
At home? Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, so there is, I'm like thinking about it because there's just sometimes like when people ask me like questions, I think when it's like superficial, I don't really have energy for it anymore. I don't know how to explain it. Like if it's not going to be like when they're like, a lot of people will be like, how's your music going? I'm like, good. Like, cause that's like all they know about me. Like now that sounds weird, but it's like I used to no one even knew I fucking did that. But now it's like, it's good. Like that's like, do I ask you how finance is going every day? Like I don't, it sounds shitty, but so that those kind of conversations seem like superficial. If someone's like, oh, how are you? And like, I don't know, like once you get to know me, that's way different.
I was saying you remind me of my sister too. But she's known for having no filter. Like as she's gotten older, she's lost the energy to like participate or to like, she rubs people the wrong way a lot where she'll say something and people are like, geez, why is she so bitchy? And really it's like, no, she just didn't care she didn't care what you were talking about. She's not interested in you. She's wasting time to her. So
I mean, yeah. How old's your sister?
42.
God. Yeah, she's 42. Same age as Pierce.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. I don't know. Don't you ever? I worked in like customer service for a long time too. So I'm like,
me too.
I'm just so fucking tired of like, I think I just got tired of it. Like of the superficiality of like having conversations with people that have no substance to them.
You already have like a very peppy voice as it is. Like, what is your customer service voice? Because everybody has a customer service voice.
I don't know. Call me.
You have a customer service voice?
Ring. I'm just kidding.
Now that I'm older, I don't so much as much. Mine is more like the way I talk to everybody, but it is custer service-y.
Yeah.
It's like, hey buddy, how you doing today? What can I get for you?
Yeah, that's customer
cool.
service.
Hey, did you know you can get those for $2 for?
I think it's definitely higher pitched. I actually was thinking about this when I left the gas station today because I never will like be a raging bitch to people I don't know. Like whereas to the point, like I mean, sometimes I'll be have less energy. But like if someone like is being nice to me or is like saying something like the gas station attendant, she was so lovely. I just love people like that, when you're just like, she's like, how are you? What are you doing today? And I was like, oh, now I can turn it on a little bit before I have the caffeine. But I'm like, oh my God, how are you? I don't know. Like, it's kind of like that. I don't know. It's like way good. Like,
customer service voice.
Have a good day. It's just like this naturally like higher pitched voice.
Well, there's something to that. We know psychologically. It makes people feel better.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? That's fine. It's like,
hey. How high can you go? How high can you go?
Hey.
Yeah, the load doesn't work. Like if you
hello.
Hey.
I love I love me a low voice, guys.
We've talked about this before on the podcast. Like fresh wake up in the morning voice. Everyone says that's the sexy morning voice, right? When you wake up, you're like, good morning. It's that raspy
I just love I love a low voice, man. Ugh, I don't know what it is. Like especially like singers, like I love Chris Young when he sings like really young or like really low. God, I just fucking love it.
Mumbling her words.
Settle down.
I'm
sorry.
Down,
Jordan.
My eyes too. I'm losing track of time. I just love like Morgan Freeman. Love low voice, guys.
One of our past podcast guests, Anton.
Oh my God,
he has a deep voice. And we were talking about it. We're like, well, we were saying this is not what's his name?
Barry White.
Yeah, this is not Barry White on the show. This is Anton.
Because we were introducing, we're going around the show like so and so. Go
so,
ahead.
hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
Like,
it was ridiculous. Yeah. Vibrating my headphones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
is it mostly a singing thing that you like for deep voices, or just in general?
I like just deep voices in general. I think they're relaxing. Is that weird?
No, I think everybody's different because, like, I was just thinking about like those meditation apps and stuff. You can change the person.
Like
Some people,
I've never even. I've never
like you
thought
said,
about
like
that.
Morgan Freeman does a lot of like voiceovers and stuff like that.
It just
too,
like gives me like it gets me. I don't even know how to explain it. Like
Morgan Freeman did the March of the Penguins. He did the March of the Penguins.
That shit just puts me to sleep. It like hits my central nervous system. I'm not even joking. Like, when it's like there's like certain low voices, I'm just like, and then I'm just done, and I'm like, this is great. Like, I don't know. There's got to be something to it. Like, I'll have to go look it up, like some science.
So for all future listeners, anyone trying to collab with Jordan Yewey, she's not going to collab very well with you if you have a low voice because she's not going to be able to perform.
She won't be able to focus. I am curious about your singing history. How did you learn to sing? Did you sang your whole life? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, I've been singing forever. I don't really know like when I just like started singing, but
Did you ever take lessons?
I didn't.
Shocking. This is the first one that's surprising because usually I can call it. I assumed at some point you had some kind of vocal lessons because we have people, Tyler's in here, like other people where they have great singing, singing voices, but I can tell. I'll be like, I didn't think you took singing lessons, not in a bad way.
No, I mean,
but it takes one to know one. But with you, you're like you were saying, you were thinking of some of your stuff is like a little off or whatever. But you have really good pitch, and it seems like you have good range too.
Yeah, I was gonna say a really good range. I
mean, I've been singing for forever, and like I also I'm a big music lover, so like I would practice singing. Like I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but like there's certain songs I'll go and like I can't even hit the notes in them, but I'll be like whatever. Like I don't know, I'd play Celine Dion or play like. There's like very specific tracks I would just like play on the way to work and play home, like on the way home if I wasn't like in the middle of writing something, because that's also I used to write when I was driving on the way to work and home like that. I don't know why, like just like drive and write in my brain, not physically. Drive and write while I'm at, but like I would play like there are certain songs I go to like or like You Ought to Know by like Alanis Morissette. Like there's very specific things I would just go and try and sing, and I think. Over time, like there's little things I've like I know and I've picked up, but
so would you go after and tackle songs that were like seemed hard or were like out of your range and stuff like that?
Yeah, just songs that I was like trying to learn how to sing. Like, I think like I don't know. That was kind of how I learned to sing. Was basically just, I always sang pretty well, but like it got. I don't know, like
better. That's why, I love karaoke. That's why I was telling Pierce, like karaoke is a fun thing. I bet you kill at karaoke then.
I have not done karaoke in so long. It feels like this sounds so bitch. See, this is where my cunt comes out because I'm like, if you're not paying me, I don't want to fucking sing anymore. I'm just kidding. Unless it's like in a car and it's like
free shows. No free shows.
No, people are like, go to open mic nights. I'm like, I don't want to do open mic. Like, I think now I like value myself a little bit more than I did.
That's a good thing
years
too.
ago. I was like,
well, that's
like, you want to listen to me fucking sing? Like, that's fine. Give me $5. I'm just kidding. Give me $5.
Tip jar right there.
Like, I think that's not in a shitty way, but yeah.
Well, the opposite of that is again, just like the artistic creativity and control. It's the same idea as like that's a common thing with up and coming musicians is that they underestimate their value.
Or I'm like, if you're an artist, are they like, draw me something? You're like, yeah, this will be fun. Let me just like sketch something out for you for fucking free right now.
How about
like,
I create my art, and if you like it, cool. And if you don't, then
But I mean, I would actually like to go do karaoke at some point because I think it'd be fun if I went with like my friends. But it's just people always talk about it, I'm like in like random places. I'm like, I'm not gonna go up and just like. Also, it seems like when you go to karaoke and it's all like really good people, and you're like, the fuck is going on?
Oh,
like this isn't fun because people don't pick songs.
You
like
have no idea.
Like if I think about this all the time because it used to be like when I would go do karaoke, I would be like wanted to sing like I want to dance with somebody or like something that I'm like I can sing and show people that I can sing because I don't get to sing for people. Which I guess now I'm like now it's probably why people do that. But now I'm like I want to pick like fucking Linkin Park or something. I want to go up there or like a rap song and I'm gonna try and just like.
Kill it.
So fun.
Yeah.
Do something that I don't do like on my own, but I guess I can understand like why if people don't get out and sing and they have a really good fucking voice and they want to go do karaoke, like I guess that's maybe why there's so many people up there just like American Idol style killing it. And I'm like, this isn't fun anymore.
I used to host karaoke way back in the day, but I've never experienced it like with my wife's family. My wife's Filipino and everybody in her family can just carry a tune. And everyone knew like I was a performer and I was getting paid to play music. I had been in bands and all this stuff and was known as singing. And then they put me all on the spot and they're all super excited. And it's the same. I'm like kind of panicking because I'm like, these people are fucking legit singers. Like everybody sings so good. And I can't remember what I did, but I just remember them just kind of being like, it wasn't horrible, but they were just kind of like, yeah.
I think it's more like I think about like like lip sync battle. Like I would want to do something like more fun. Like it feels like I think karaoke is supposed to be like release your inhibitions. I was gonna say release your inhibitions, but then it just came out like naturally in that way. But that's like what I feel like it is. But then I feel like people feel like they have to go up and like perform, and I'm like, I don't really think that. I don't know. In my head, it's like I want to, like I said, I want to go do something like I don't get to do and like be weird and.
That's how I got past it. So Mike knows now. We got a dope ass. Karaoke machine upstairs, and I do it all the time. I know my whole family. I just turn it on. I intentionally pick songs that are either hard or like songs I'm like, this is so far outside my genre.
With my family. Yeah, like sometimes.
And it's just fun, and that's to me what karaoke. I agree. Yeah. Karaoke is about just letting yourself go. Yeah, not putting on a beautiful.
That's why I always like to do the. I believe in a thing called Love by the Darkness, because that's like the high pitched sound. I believe in a thing called love, just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
What's the song? I think we've had this conversation before.
Or Toxic by Britney Spears.
I can.
That's a good one. I never heard you do that.
See, it's like then you have to like do the moves, like I'm like I want to see the whole ass thing.
The whole
like that's what I'm saying. Like I want to see like if you're gonna be singing Genie in a Bottle and you're just like saying so I don't want to. I have no time for that shit. Yeah. I'm like get into it. Let's go.
And then I'm gonna be like, you better pay me, Jordan.
That's gonna come. I know already. It's gonna come back and bite me in the ass that I said that. I'm like, oh god. But that's just it's my job now, so it feels like I don't know. I mean, I don't feel I have to explain myself, but I will. It's my job now, so it's not as like you know what I mean. Like when people are like, do that, I'm like, I do that.
So what's your favorite part? I'm gonna guess it's not recording, but I don't know for sure. There's recording, writing, and performing. What do you actually was like? Yes, that's my favorite part of my job.
I think the songwriting part, because I always did that with even when it wasn't. I have like people. I mean, I gig a lot, and I do like some shows where I get to do my own stuff. So I was talking about this.
Wait, do you do shows where you do a lot of covers?
I mean, I mostly do a lot of gigs, and then every so often I have a show where I'm like singing my own stuff. And like I'll throw my own stuff when I'm gigging too, but like my performing like right now is a lot of gigging because that's what I do. So like it's a lot of covers. It's a lot of me just like singing and like dive bars and shit.
I also
do shows.
I fucking hated it.
And so like it's fine. But like when people ask me about performing, I have like a weird like back and forth on it now because I'm like I really do enjoy it, but also I don't get to do it a lot in a space where I'm like performing for people that are necessarily like listening to the songs I'm writing all the time.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
People that are coming to see you as an artist.
Yeah.
Instead, you're doing like a performance where they're just expecting music that they know and a great singer.
And like sometimes I really love gigging and like performing. It just depends on the fucking night.
So to you, it sounds like to you gigging is synonymous with covers.
I think a lot. I mean, like most gigging. So like,
what's gigging to you? What's the difference?
Gigging is like when you go and play for like 3 hours somewhere, which like is synonymous. Like it's not just here. Like if you go to Nashville, like that's how you write. Like you go anywhere. Like gigging is like a 3 hour set is like that's normal. That's what they expect. I could play 3 hours of my own shit, but no one wants to fucking hear that because no one knows who the hell I am. I could be Taylor Swift.
I don't know.
If they didn't know who I was, they wouldn't care.
I think you maybe should reconsider that because your music's great. And if that's gigging to you, that's mostly what I did. I did shit tons of gigging. I had 4 or 5 hour shows.
Yeah. Oh my God. I tap out at 3.
I very rarely would play more than 10% covers. I did all original tunes.
Did you? I do throw my stuff in there, but like, every now and then I'm like,
your stuff is good.
Thank you. Yeah. But it's just sometimes like if I'm at like a bar super late at night, I'm like, there's energy in the songs. I don't know how to explain them. Well, that too. And it's like, do I want to play this song and like taint my idea. I just like paused after that. Taint my idea of like what I feel about the song. Cause like I have the songwriting piece, like to go back to it, is like my favorite piece. So like sometimes if I'm like, it's a really shitty night or it's like a long night, I don't want to play my song because it feels like that energy is going to be somehow tied into it. Is that weird? I don't fucking know.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I think everybody looks at it different. For me, it was unpalatable for me. I couldn't.
It's hard, yeah.
I just hated it. And then my voice range is different. Like I have a good range, but it's set low. So I had to change the key of anything I ever sang. And so it was just such a pain in the ass for me to do covers. And when I did them, they were always my own version. I'd usually put a reggae twist on almost everything. I love.
Mine are people. I don't try to, but yes, they all are naturally. They're just like weird versions of myself.
Because it's you. Yeah. Like, and see, that's great. If I like listening to people do covers, that's what I like. Yeah. I like it's like if it sounds just like the original, like, well, good for you, but somebody already did that.
Yeah,
like,
I think because it's just me and my guitar. I don't even use like a looper. Like it's there's no way for it to not be. Just me. Like, and eventually, like, if you played enough, it just kind of becomes like. So I don't mind it. Like, all the songs I pick are songs that I fucking like. I'm not up there singing, like, unless someone was a request. Like, I pick the songs. But it is, anyway, I mean, to like, gigging and shows are different to me. So I'm like, if I get to play a show, that's me getting to play, like, a set where I'm like, you're coming to see me, and that's my fucking music, and, like, I'm giving it to you, versus, like, gigging is 3 hours. Like, I'll throw some of my stuff in there. But it's just me at a bar, like singing. It's not people coming to see me, right? Necessarily.
Yeah. What about, so this Goose Town would be a show then, probably.
Yes. So that one is a show.
What's the date on that?
That is 5/24.
Friday.
Oh yeah. Friday. Damn it. Getting a tattoo. What time are you going on that night?
Not till late, till like 9. So you should come by. And
that's probably going to be done is 8 or 9.
I'm playing with I just love them. They're so amazing. They're
So you got a band for this one?
I'm playing by myself now, but they have like they're like a 3-piece. So like, they have a keyboard and guitarist and 2 guitars.
Fun.
But they like I don't even say it. There's a trio, but they're both playing, but they play in different. One of them one songs and the other person songs. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I did. Band, but also a different person.
What always stands out about Goose Town? Remember, my wife got so drunk. I think the waiter had a crush on my wife.
Yeah,
it was like by the end of the show, I just remember she was
sloshed.
That was an EP release.
That was EP release. Yeah,
that was
gotta love that.
Yeah. Have you played there before, Goose Town?
I haven't played there.
Oh, it's fun little place. It's weird how the bar is like around on the other side almost.
Have
you been in there yet?
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
So like I live like
it's a nice stage though.
Down like that. It looks like a nice stage based on pictures, but like I live in Littleton, so I'm like I don't go to Denver a shit ton unless like I'm playing down there. I don't know. I'm getting old, so.
Oh, come on.
That's me.
Come on.
I'm like, I've spent my years in Denver, okay? And I'm like, but I need to go, like, I need to go out. I always tell Megan, I'm like, I need to go, like, see people more, because then, but I feel like I was saying earlier, I'm like, I have energy, and then I'm also like, now retreat.
Yeah.
Like a goblin into my cave, where I will be for the next 5 days regenerating.
I mean, you were set. Like, I was looking at your event list, and you got everything booked out.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot. I mean, that's all I'm doing right now is gigging. So it's like, I do appreciate that. That's my little job. Like, it's not always my favorite, like any job, but
how is
that's how I make my income. Huh?
Do you set up like your own PA and stuff like that, or most of the for those long gigs usually?
Yeah, so like some places have their own PAs, but some places you have to bring your stuff. So like last night, the place I was playing, I had to like load all my shit in, load it out.
Such a pain in the ass. The
3 hour gigs. That's when you had your minivan and you were loading everything out.
Oh yeah, bro.
I know. I do feel like a boss. I'm like, and they're just carrying shit. I'm like, what's up?
What does your setup look like? I'm curious because now I always think about how I'm outdated. I have these giant PV speakers in the storage room behind you. And
those, I mean, I've used those like back, like prior to what I have now.
What do you have now? What do you use?
It's, oh my gosh, I don't even know what it is. It's like a Keno version of the Bose like 1000. So it's like a
standalone,
and then it has like the stack that you can just put on top.
Everybody does that now. Yeah,
and it because it's me and my guitar, so it's like it has
Correct.
3 plugins or 3 channels.
Simple.
I don't freaking need anything. And one of my friends, when I started gigging like really early on, his name's Aaron. He had the same thing, and he was like, "I use this, and it's so easy." Because like I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing at first. I was like, "How am I going to do that?" So many of those
sound so good.
Yeah, and I mean, it's loud as hell. People are always like, "We can hear you from all the way
Yeah.
across the parking lot." I'm like, I can't even hear my goddamn self after 5 minutes. So I'm like,
how much is one of those?
It was $500. Who knows what
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like so it's not like I think the Bose like 1000 is like $1,000. They tie it. They tie it
with
right.
The price. Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. Don't mark me on that. But yeah, the one that I got was literally the exact one that my friend Aaron showed me, and he was like, "This is like $500." I was like, "Cool."
Wow.
I have $500 back then. I was like, "Cool, I can drop $500 on this."
Yeah, so it's pretty comparable because that
yeah, it's not bad.
board I got was like $500, but that was a while back, so I don't know what those go for.
I mean,
now.
yeah, because
they're kind of outdated, honestly.
prior to that, like, I mean, when I was like practicing and like growing up too, my parents, like for my birthday, got me like a microphone and a mixer and stuff. And like, I mean, it was all tied into just like my amp, basically, which sounded like fucking garbage because it's like your voice coming through the amp. But I wasn't gigging back then. So but like to the point though, like when I started doing it, I was like, I had like the PAs, like,
Yeah.
At me and my mom used to work at the gym, so we would borrow them from Vasa. Sorry, Vasa.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I don't think they knew about it.
Yeah.
They're gonna come for us, but
we stole them, but then we returned them.
Yeah, sorry, but because they like when they would do events and stuff, so my mom would be like, borrow them, excuse them, or I would rent them from like Guitar
Nobody's
Center.
looking at cameras if they're back.
No,
they don't know they were gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vasa. But yeah, I mean, I would rent like the PA systems too. Like when I didn't know people I hate going into Guitar Center. That's a whole other topic. I hate going into any music stores. Because I'm a girl, so
immediately they're just assuming.
Well, also I don't know anything about fucking sound. Like now I do now, but like I'm like I write songs and I sing. But like when I would go in and ask, like when I was first gigging, I was like, "What do I need?" They're like, "Well," I'm like, "I have a microphone, I have a mic stand. Like, what do I need to like do a gig for?" Like, I'm like, shouldn't these people fucking know this if they're working the Guitar Center stand? But 100%.
Also, those are valid questions.
God, I just always I'm like now I feel fine going in there, but I used to just be like. I feel like they always made me feel like a fucking idiot.
You know what I feel like when I walk in there? Like I just walked into Nerdville. Like
that's what it feels like.
I'm just like, it's too much. It's like, come on. I'm glad for it because the people that work there love working there. But sometimes it's just a little too much.
But to that point,
like,
also, like, shouldn't you have been able to, like, tell me I didn't need these fucking PA systems? Like, because there's, like, this was not that long ago. This was, like, 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm like, shouldn't you have been able to been like,
it
well,
might
there's
have just
these
been
really
one
easy
shitty
things.
person, though.
I don't know. I rented stuff a couple times. I don't
really?
Guys, I got some music store, like, stories if you want to hear them. I'm like, being a lady playing music is not fucking fun.
I never, see, let's talk about that because I never even paid attention in Guitar Center, but now that you're mentioning it, it's all dudes. Everybody in there's dudes, and maybe they're talking to me differently than they're talking to a girl that comes in or a woman that comes in.
The biggest example, I thought it was a little crazy when it happened because I was like, I don't know. But now I'm like, oh no, this dude was definitely like, I'm like, this fucking guy. I went like 2 years ago, I bought myself a 12-string guitar.
Nice.
From this like, just this music store because I was working out at Vasa or something. And then I went, it's like right next to Vasa. Fucking Vasa. You better pay me for this. I'm just kidding. No. But I went in there and it was my birthday and I just bought myself a 12-string guitar. And they just had one. I mean, it's like a secondhand shop. So I bring it up to like buy it. And like I got like a matching strap and stuff. And the guy's like, you know, this has 12 strings on it, right?
Oh,
and I was like,
fucking dude, really?
He said that to me. Like, I said, yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm like, bro, I've been, like, at that point, I was probably like, what, like 28, 29. I was like, no fucking shit. Like, I've been playing guitar since I was 12. Like, also, I know how to, even if I didn't. Did you say that
to him or no?
I don't even remember what I said in the moment. I was just kind of like, this fucking guy. Like, I was like, how do you know that I don't know how to play this or that I'm like some crazy guitarist. You don't know.
Yeah.
Air of like we are superior. We know all the music stuff.
Well, not even that. Like
it's got 12 strings.
Was it music go round?
Yes. I was like, what is it? It's like, it's something like that. I don't even fucking know. I mean, there's so many experiences. Like one time me and Brooke walked into a gig and literally, many times we walk into gigs, like when and they're like, are you guys with the band? We are the fucking band. Yeah. We are, just because we're late, it does not mean we're with the band. And then there's been times we walked in once and Brooke like seemed a little off and I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to get pissed off. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Like we're just like loading all shit and she's like, well, we what? Like this is like during our break basically, like after one of our sets, and she's like, well, when we walked in, like those guys were like, oh, I bet this is gonna suck when they found out that it was like us. I'm like, bro, it's gonna be better than your average Joe Schmo that's out here playing. I know that much, but I mean, being a woman playing music, it's not. I don't know. It was a little bit different experience than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. This reminds me of the experience I had when I was sitting around with all my friends that happened to none of them which were white, including you, Pierce. And we were talking about experiences getting pulled over by the police.
Oh, I can't
and I
even
felt
imagine.
like I had this like epiphany, like, holy shit, like I've been let off so many times. Like they're always so polite to me. It's never a big deal. And this was what this feels like, because as I'm like thinking back on all my years of music, it's got to be. And I even realized I have internal bias. Like earlier when you were talking about the drummer, and I'm like, oh, that's great. And then you said a she at some point, and I was like, oh, fucking dope. Two in the same group. But then I'm like, yeah, I noticed. So I just pulled it up. Yeah. 30%. So in 2022, it's gone way up.
Okay.
Since 2021 was 23% of the women on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm sorry, 33% of the artists on the top 100 were female, which means it's like 70 something percent is 78% or something is male.
And I'm like, I write a lot of different stuff, but also like I do write country music, and like that's
do write country.
Yeah, I would say like the last album's like that would be like classified as like country.
That's what we were talking about. I was trying to decide. I was like curious what you considered yourself, so I looked up what your genre is officially online, and it's you're just a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, that's what it says. I don't even. Also, I'm like, who put that on there? My one of my cousins, when I went to go visit my family like a couple weekends ago, she's like, you know, when you look you up, like yours like your picture, and it says like singer-songwriter. I'm like, I don't know who does that, but
I know it's
but
the
that's
internet.
What I am. That's fine because that is what I am. But I mean, people just. I think also people. I don't like to be categorized into that because I do write a lot of pop music also. And I feel like because I have my guitar and I sing, they're like country. I'm like, it's not all country.
I think more than ever, those two are coming together a little bit.
Oh, they definitely are. And people hate it. But I mean, that's just the natural way of life. I'm like, country now is not what country was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So even when people are like, it's still country, I'm like, it's not country. It's not the country that it was 50 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what people expect, though.
I was telling Pierce, I really do think this, and it sounds kind of crazy, but I really think in 50 years or so, it's going to be, genres are going to be almost indistinguishable. Like, I really feel like we're heading away from it. I think it's
I don't like genres.
I think it's a remnant of the past. It's a remnant of radio stations. It's a remnant, you know what I mean? And
well, country's the only one, like, right now that it feels like it's like they're still trying to separate themselves a lot. Because, like, when you think about, like, I mean, I was saying earlier, I'm like, I'm a lover of music. Like, I like all types of music. So, I mean, when you think about rock music now, like rock music is not what rock music was 20, 30 years ago. I think even sometimes when you listen to country music now, I'm like, that sounds more like, there was a song that was on the way here and I was like, this sounds like, you know, if we tweaked it a little bit, this could be a fucking 80s metal band. Like if, like it really could, like, honestly, like some of the things. So, I mean, I've always been like, my whole life just been like, I don't really understand that. I just feel like everything should be kind of like it's you. Like if you're writing something and that sounds like you. It just
is what it is. It's
write it that way.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only way to do it. I feel like you don't sit down with painters and you're like, you get red, yellow, and blue. Yeah. And that's all you fucking get. And don't touch anything else. It's like, that would be weird, wouldn't it be?
There's some artists I really like that they kind of lean into changing the genre, but I think at the end of the day, that's what I mean is we won't call this like he's doing reggae versions of everything, but I really think he's just doing his versions of everything because
that makes sense.
That's just where he's at, and it's Cass Haley. I don't know if you ever heard of that guy.
No, I'll have to look it up.
He was once upon a time he was on. I think he won America's Got Talent. He did Sting's Walking on the Moon, and it went totally viral at the time.
That's cool.
But he does it, and now he's getting older and stuff, but he's on his Instagram and just constantly he puts out a lot of country songs and does them. It's like reggae country, and it's fucking sick.
I just think, like, why limit yourself to be like one thing or the other? I don't know. Like, and some people come back like, and they end up sounding like their sound is something that you're like, that sounds like something reminiscent of 30 years ago, right? Like people's sounds are all different. Like I'm trying to think, like, what is it? Greta Van Fleet always reminds me of every time. I fucking love them, but it always reminds me of Led Zeppelin, right? But
of course,
in their own way, right? It's different, but it's like you can do whatever you want. I don't know why are we always like bitching and moaning about?
And
is it this? Is it that? I'm like, who gives a shit? Do you like it? Do you not?
Right.
Like that's all that really fucking matters.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think because we talk about having influences, and I think a lot of times we think like, oh, I'm influenced by, like I always just say, I was influenced by grunge because I was in Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. No, I was influenced by Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains. Like that was the stuff that I listened to, but it was those individual things. I think always we were just putting them into boxes, but I feel like that was also almost manufactured. It was like a corporate manufacturing thing because of how radio stations were set up. And
it's actually interesting to think about, how it used to be, how it had to be more like tailored that way.
Yeah. So different now.
I don't know. I was just thinking in my head, I was a little giggling. I'm like, green jacket, gold jacket, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's all I can think of when I would say that. I'm like, my mom would be reminiscent if I did not say that line after that. Then he's like, do you like it? Do you not?
What is that?
That's from fucking Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah. For a second, I thought she was talking about the meme. Remember the dress meme?
What?
The dress where it was like, what color is it? And everybody saw
the blue or the gold.
And it was so stupid. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought for a moment she was talking about.
Like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Or like
here?
those.
I got it.
I pretty much exist in movie quotes in my brain, just like hearing
you get
things.
along great with this guy right here.
I'm a big pop culture.
He does it all the time where I'm like, man, that sounded a little out of character for you. And he's like,
that's because that wasn't me.
That's not me, Dollar. That is Adam Sandler, 100%.
Yeah. That's definitely one of my oddities. Is I'm like out of touch. Like sometimes I find out like some movie that everybody's seen, and like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Or like the other day, I said, it's a little warm in these rhinos, and someone was like, "What? What is that?" And I was like,
"Oh my god!" From Ace Ventura. Yeah.
See, I was like, "It's a little warm in these rhinos."
I was like racking my brain. I'm like, what movie is that?
I mean, when is anyone inside a rhino in any other fucking movie? I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I don't think like if you're not like a cinephile, I don't think it's weird. I mean, I think it'd be weird to be like existing movie quotes. My family just like sometimes we speak in movie quotes. I feel like we're like at dinner when we're ever at dinner, but like when it happens, it's like just us repeating movie quotes to each other. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
So like, that's kind of how I grew up.
Or what I like to do is like if I hear a song, I'm like, oh, what movie?
Yeah.
What movie? And
I do, like soundtracks, movie soundtracks are so amazing.
That's the beginning of Beverly Hills Cop, bro. Like when he's in the cigarette.
Do. That always reminds me of Beverly Hills Cop.
That also always reminds me of Family Guy.
Oh my god.
Oh, speaking of which, Pierce, what do you say? I think maybe it's time for a little bit of those fun facts.
All right. Go, buddy. So I sent you fun facts, by the way, in your email.
I did see that. Yes. So I mean, I think I read like 3. I was probably reading while I was driving. Like,
told you, Pierce.
Irresponsibly.
He sends out 8 trillion. I told him, send out 5.
That's 5. Just do 5. No, but if you want to be a part of the fun facts, again, just go to the website. And I will add you the fun facts, or be a guest on the show, and I'm just going to send you fun facts because you gave me your email for the invite. Yeah,
it's mandatory. You gave the email already.
You get them, yeah, they're coming.
So today is National Orange Juice Day.
Okay.
Today is also National Get Out and Play Day. So there's a lot of playground stuff, a lot of orange juice stuff.
Anyone can be like, today is National Take a Dump Day. Like, I'm sorry.
It actually is too.
Later, I don't know why. I was just trying to think of something random, but I'm like, don't you ever see those and you're like, what is today not? Like,
every day
anyway,
is
continue.
a day of something.
Yeah,
that's true. Is there a day that isn't some kind of day?
Yeah, it's true. There's a website on the website. It's like a National Calendar Day, so that's what I was like. Today is the Kentucky Derby too. So.
Oh yeah, that is today.
Yeah, but first one I liked. Scientists have created a perfume that smells like outer space. It's described as gunpowder, seared steak, raspberries, and rum.
But wait a second.
I know.
How do they know?
Someone was like,
that too.
Someone was all,
conspiracy. Well, yeah, I'm like, they can't do that.
Before I die.
I'm like, I thought you couldn't breathe in space, motherfucker. But they out here saying it smells like raspberries.
Smelling is like particles hitting your sinus, the receptors, right? So if you're in space, it's literally nothing, right? So how are you? I've challenged a million of these. I gave up. He gets challenged by listeners, but he has a perfect record.
Okay.
Perfect record. So I don't challenge him. I just don't get it. I'm like, how do you smell in space? That doesn't even make any sense. Where's the British one? The average British adult spends 3 hours on the toilet and 1.5 hours exercising per week. That's the average British adult.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a day. I was like, 3 hours on the toilet a day?
It's all that.
That's the average. That means there's somebody spending 9.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
That's that English breakfast
Literally,
over
holy
there.
Shit.
Their English breakfast with the baked beans, and that's what'll do it.
I think that's a pretty average. That seems pretty normal.
Cats only meow to communicate with humans, not other cats.
Yeah.
That's why they annoy the shit out of us. They're like,
yeah. Are you a cat person? Do you like cats?
I love cats.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they're cunty.
Yeah.
I say I'll lean into it. Cats are bitches, and that's why I like them, because they're like, pet me, but don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I like they also, like, a fun fact about cats, like, they know their names, but they choose when they want to answer to them. So like when you're like, Chester, that's one of my cat's names. Chester. And he's like, finally looks, it's like, you're just ignoring me on purpose. And that's
like, what do you want?
I think that is my inner person is a cat. It's just like, fuck you. What do you want?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like cat. I can't be around him.
Yeah.
Are you allergic? Yeah. I was like,
it's ridiculous. Deja vu occurs when your brain tries to apply a memory of a past situation to your current one, fails, and makes you feel like it's happened.
Bullshit. I'm just kidding. No.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, well, so that
how do you know that?
That takes the, how do you know that, I wonder?
Then how come when you're
we have a challenger, Pierce.
I'm like, well, I don't know. That's like when they're like, people have like, I'm dreaming. And like, how do you actually fucking know that? But I'm like, what about when you've been somewhere you've never fucking been? And you're like,
Well,
it's
past memory.
What you've seen on TV too. Anything that you've seen, kind of like a deal. So, yeah. While you're looking that up, Dollar, the traditional drink of the Derby is the mint julep, and over 120,000 are said to be consumed at the race each year.
Guys, what's in a mint julep? I know that
they're delicious.
But what is it?
I don't remember.
I've never ordered one.
I know it has mint. It literally has like fresh mint in it, which is really.
We got a real Einstein over here.
No, they're good. You might have had one and not known it.
I don't
possibly
think so, but.
Let's see. What are mint juleps made of?
I feel like that's so specific,
So crushed ice, bourbon, mint syrup. Wow. And then
his face. He doesn't like mint. I can see all his face. Like,
you don't like mint? They're good.
I like mojitos. I love mojitos.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was just thinking about when you were talking about like mojitos.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I think that's what I'm thinking of.
So back in the day when I used to bounce, I used to go to that bar. Well, I used to work at the club.
Where did you bounce?
It was before you were probably like 11 years old.
I don't care. I want to know where it was.
I worked for Lotus Entertainment, so that's Monarch Mint, 5 Degrees.
Okay.
Sweet 200. So those are all back in the day.
Now I gotta know like some crazy. I've got some crazy stories, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I've told many a crazy story on here, but no. To my case, the it was a mojito bar. It was Mint, MYNT, and they had sugar cane, like the actual stock, and so you just like suck on that and just drink your. Oh yeah, I only like mojitos that have the actual sugar cane in it.
Well, that's rum, so it's kind of like a similar-esque, right? But with bourbon.
The deja vu thing is legit.
I mean, that's what they say.
This is it's Colorado State University. I went to some fact check sites.
I went to see you, so I'm just kidding. So we immediately that fact's not real. I'm just kidding. No.
She's like, what do those Aggies know? What do those Aggies know?
That's what my
dad. The first challenge you've ever lost, Pierce.
I'm just kidding. No. I mean, I'm just saying, like, as an intuitive person, I'm like,
well,
is it really
it's
bad?
Very true that we don't know everything about the universe. We know way less about the universe than there is in the universe. Like not even fucking close. So I think even things we think we understand, sometimes we evolve later and realize we were looking at it all different too. Because I think a lot of that stuff, like Eastern philosophy from thousands of years ago.
Oh yeah.
Physics is catching up with that stuff.
Now, and they're like proving that stuff. I was just being a bitch,
Yeah, but I do think it is silly. You can't discount spirituality, and you can't discount like the deeper level of, and you could use that word for just anything we don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, any terms. Well, I think science is interesting because science sometimes gets so into science, but forgets like all the elements that you don't see. You know what I mean? Like
I read
that they can't prove.
I read somewhere that someone's an astronomy major.
Oh, I was an astronomy major. Yeah.
Really?
See,
I tried to be.
I did my homework.
That I'm like, God, where do you read that shit? Take that off the internet.
Deep dive, Mike.
No, I've always had, like two. I've loved music and I love astronomy, like space.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love space too.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love space?
Yeah. The best movies.
Yeah.
Oh, best movies are space movies.
I think because it's like that the exact thing we're talking about. There's like such an unknowing of like stuff that's out there. So it's like, I want to know it. I'm just kidding.
Right? Don't we all?
It's fascinating.
You know what's fascinating? Men have nipples because every fetus, because is the fascinating part. You didn't let me get to it.
Because they don't know that they're men or women. That's what you were going to say until a certain point.
Yeah, totally. Every fetus is female until the Y chromosome kicks in.
Yeah, I'm like, did you take biology, guys? I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm like,
but I don't think I would have ever made the connection that the reason specifically that we have nipples is because of that.
Yeah,
of that, yeah.
I think I remember looking that up or learning about that in biology. I'm gonna shut up now. You guys can read your facts.
Yeah, we do have an actual real Einstein on here. Apparently,
do.
So.
I am a know-it-all, so I'm like, boom.
This one right here. Since I work in finance and that's all I look at is spreadsheets all day, every day. Mm-hmm. I want to know who did this, by the way. It takes 9 hours, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds to reach the 1,480th, 576th row of an Excel spreadsheet by perpetually pressing the down arrow.
How long did it take?
9 hours, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds. But why that line? Why the 1,048,000?
Couldn't you just do?
You
could just do any line and then divide it by however many you did, and that's just you're gonna have a rate.
Then your finger probably gets tired.
Is
that like where it ends? Like it doesn't stop.
No,
it doesn't go past that point.
No.
That's
I've
so
never,
interesting.
I've never got to the millionth line. Of
Can you
any
imagine?
sheet.
What kind of data are you looking at?
I know you're saying that. I was giving I'm getting high just thinking about Excel spreadsheets at 1 million lines.
But who is there? You're going like this. Let's see how long this takes.
Well, can't you just press it and hold it, right?
This is perpetually doing it.
But for 9 hours?
Yeah, for 9 hours.
Oh, my God.
They're like, just
they
to know.
They definitely have carpal tunnel now.
Somebody's feeding you, too. Somebody's having to feed you.
Like, they had to plan this out.
Bite. So it's like,
That's
bite.
Like, they didn't sleep. They what were they doing? Like, they had to plan this shit out to find this fact out.
That's like,
and that's nuts.
Yeah. So, somebody went
that's
into
more
planning.
nuts than the fact.
Somebody was sitting there, probably high dollar, and was like, you know what? I wonder how long it'll take to get to the 1,048,576 line of an Excel spreadsheet. Do you want to check it out with me, bud? Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Someone in college.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, actually. This one I really liked because of, finding a new time for my workout lately.
Yeah.
You may gain 20% more muscle strength by working out in the afternoon instead of the morning, according to a study. Yeah. So you've always been like an evening or afternoon guy.
Yeah.
I've always been the crack of dawn guy.
What's the science behind that? He's like, shit, you better. I'm just, I'm like, God, I don't know.
I read them. I don't
know any of the things behind them. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, why?
I think it's your preparedness, right? And your awakeness, probably.
I would have thought the opposite. I would have thought
so too.
Workout first thing in the morning would really, I don't know. Because a lot of people do it. People do it fasted. That's the other thing people talk about.
I don't know.
You're fasting.
Maybe the people in the afternoon and the evening like me are like, fuck this shit. It's fucking job.
Maybe because, maybe because you've like people in the morning probably don't eat. You don't have anything to like.
Yeah, you're fasting.
It is like fasting, but then versus in the afternoon, like you have eaten, you have like actual fuel to turn into actual muscle mass.
Oh, It's levels of testosterone at times of day.
Okay, well
You say testosterone is
different,
and your body might produce more of it during the afternoon workouts than morning workouts, resulting in greater strength and muscle gains.
Interesting.
It
says may.
I know, it was like it didn't sound sure of itself, did it?
May
effects of morning. Okay, this is the study. This is the actual study. Where is this done out of? It's on PubMed. That's always legit.
What the hell is that?
What is
no,
that?
PubMed is.
I was like, what's PubMed?
Yeah, we were
it has the word pub in it. So
so they're like, it's like legitimate published science. It's what you use in college. Like, there's a few different of these.
We went the bar route. Yeah, we went the bar route.
Yeah.
We were like, pub? Oh, where are you getting your info from? This is what, trivia? A pub
the National
trivia
Library
site?
of Medicine is where.
God, that's why I literally was like, a pub?
Yeah, me too.
PubMed?
Like, I thought it was like a trivia site. Like, what are you looking at?
They serve fish and chips? Like, what is it?
I'm trying to see what the. Yeah, well, don't have time to read the whole study.
That's okay. That's how you know you drink a lot, though, when you're like, pub?
Oh, you know what we need to do, Dollar?
What?
We need to ask you the question.
Oh, yeah. We just, for everybody who's on the show for the first time that's never been on the show,
okay.
we have a specific question we have to ask you.
So, you're on a tropical island. You have no way to get off. But you have a way, you have everything you need to live a long, happy life, okay? During your crash or however you got there, you had one way to play music, but only one album survived your crash.
I knew. I was like, I've thought about this question. It's like
What
I've been
album?
preparing this
What
entire
album is
life
it?
for this. That's so hard, guys. Fuck you guys.
So while you're thinking
We get
about
a lot of that
yeah,
with this one.
Dollars over here is,
Catch a Fire by Bob Marley,
Okay.
1973.
and then I'm an old soul too. Mine is Gratitude by Earth, Wind and Fire, also 1973.
Oof.
I feel like sometimes we always do it to give them time to think, but I feel like we influence people.
And then they're like, ugh.
Yeah, because they were thinking something that came out in
I
like
have like a
2022.
hard tie in my brain going on.
Ooh, that happens.
Probably like Rumors by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Because I do love to listen to that entire album.
Damn,
That
that's
is a good one.
good
That's the first one too. That's the first one.
Or Purple Rain by Prince.
By Prince. Ooh.
Okay, another really good one. Well, I think we've had
Purple Rain before, yeah, but not
I
Rumors.
just love Purple Rain. So I don't know. Probably, but I'm like trying to think of. No one said Rumors before.
No, surprisingly.
I love to like put that entire album on, and it takes me like just the main one. They have like a deluxe version, but like I shower to that. I
Talk
just
about
think
good
it's so fun.
singing,
It's like,
good harmonies, and really great songs.
yeah, I don't know why.
It's got a vibe too.
Yeah.
Like a real feeling. I feel like the whole thing does.
Yeah.
Another fun fact over there, Pierce.
Yeah. So the other one, that elephants suck on their own trunks for comfort. Not the perverted way.
How do? Like they put it in their mouth.
Like,
I know.
like a
I'm like,
thumb.
I always
It's like a thumb for them.
not in a perverted way. I mean, it could be. We don't know. We're not elephants.
Yeah, it is weird though because they use it for everything. It's like their hand,
Yeah.
basically. They pick
like another
stuff
thumb,
up,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think it's really
Strange.
devastating to them if something happens to it. Because like if you ever see if something attacks them, they immediately like coil it up. Like when it goes to battle with something. Have you ever seen that video? It fucked up was it a hippo or a rhinoceros? I think it was a rhinoceros. You haven't seen this video? It's like a viral video.
Elephant versus rhinoceros.
Yeah,
type of
yeah, I'm sure you could Google it. Yeah, that's probably exactly what you would Google.
My face. I'm like,
I just felt so bad.
what happened?
Yeah.
The rhinoceros went in hot. He was cocky. He went running in, and then the elephant kind of knocked him off balance, and then
Speared him?
speared him
Oh.
right here, and it jumped up and just took off running. I was like, "Fuck!"
Speared him with his trunk.
With his
The tusks.
Oh, you. I was like, what?
His trunk,
You
he's
meant
like, "Ah."
the rhino speared him. Did
No, the elephant speared the rhino.
Oh, with his tusk. Oh my God, guys! I'm like sitting here thinking about trunk still. I was like,
yeah. So the
how did
rhino.
how did he spear him with his trunk? I forgot they have huge ass tusks as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
I
God,
forgot.
guys.
You don't think about that when you think of elephants. You're not like, dude, they're a fucking force to deal with
Yeah.
those big ass tusks, but they are.
Me sitting here, I'm like, how did he pierce him with his trunk?
You're like, that is perfectly.
Whoa!
He puts
They
it into a
can
point,
it.
and then just
It's like a freaking alien. It's just like, God, guys. Oh my Lord.
That would be weird for your nose to be like your hand, though, like an elephant, because
Yeah.
they do everything with it.
Yeah.
They grab stuff. And
Yeah.
insane. I mean, they don't have hands though, so like.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You only have one. You just have your one limb that does everything. The other ones are just for movement.
Just walking around.
Such a
moving your
strange thought to have, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It'd be like literally your arms and legs are just for walking, but you have a trunk
One thing
to do everything.
So
it's really weird.
So an elephant can't be right or left-handed because it's fucking just trunked.
I'm center.
It's trunked.
Yeah.
They're centered. They're aligned, baby. They're like, no.
Another weird one is snakes to me. No limbs. No limbs. Your belly.
Oh my God.
Fucking torso. So it moves you around.
And then fucking eating dinner like this.
And yet they can still.
Everything you eat is twice the size of your head.
They can. I know, and like think about how they like can strike too. Like they just like can literally fly through the fucking
fast.
air.
You know what's really cool though is if you look at like the reflexes. Have you ever seen the comparison of reflexes of different animals?
Yeah, a cat.
Cats are on
way
the
faster.
top of the food
Are
chain,
they?
bro.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so
Freaking
fast.
cats.
I seen the video with the
slow
snake.
motions.
Yeah,
it's so fun to watch those because everybody knows, like you said, snakes are super fast, and it's those in slow motion. The snake's like, and the cat's all.
what how?
It's like watching a slow fight. He's like bobbing and weaving. It's like the snake's coming. Like, not today, motherfucker.
Because you're worried for him before. You're like, you're so confident that snake's right in your face. It'll be like this close.
Well, what is that like? Do you guys ever like mongooses? Like,
yeah, Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna say Ricky Tikki Tavi because no one's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's so interesting. Like, they kill cobras.
Yeah,
like that's insane.
They can their body can withstand the venom.
But it's like they're also just so fucking fast.
Yeah,
it's like it's nuts.
Yeah. See?
Mongooses.
There we go. Pop culture.
Yeah.
We would be awesome at trivia.
Yeah. We should go to some like cinephile trivia. I'm down.
We guess you go to Duncan's. Duncan does it. The one our guest last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He said he has a trivia night.
I'm a know-it-all. I like trivia. I want to be like, fuck you, we knew that, and you did it. What am I doing with all this nonsense in my brain if I'm not using it?
I feel like I would just go and be your DD.
Because like, that's what I was gonna say. Because like usually at trivia nights they give you like pictures of beer.
Pub, so he's like, there'll be drinking.
They'll be drinking, and I don't know shit. So
that's a lot. You probably
literally Googled
you probably know
Ricky Tikki Tavi
about music. Like any people, like there's.
I have my pockets. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Everyone has their pockets.
No math. Really
I don't know stuff about everything. I like to pretend I do, but.
How about this on Australia? In Australia, kangaroos kill more people than sharks.
I believe it.
Dude, kangaroos are fucking badass.
They're nuts.
They are badass.
Have you seen those jacked kangaroos? Yeah.
So jacked, bro. You're like, it looks weird with that skinny head. It's like almost like a horse head or something. The way it comes forward. And then they just
Australia has the weirdest animals, man.
I know.
Well, that's what they say. Like everything can kill you in Australia, right? Anything can kill you.
Oh my God, spiders. Gross.
I remember reading a Reddit thread one time, and it was talking about like an Australian guy is commenting. He's like, everyone always says that, we have all these deadly animals and like, something the size of a tick could kill you. He's like, which is true. He goes, but recently I went to Canada and he goes, fuck mooses.
Oh,
he goes, oh my God.
Enormous.
He goes, fuck moose. He goes, and they're so aggressive. He goes, in Canada, he's like, in Australia, he's like, I'll take a snake over a moose any day.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take the moose. I'm like, I just stay away from it. That's all I have to do. It's not gonna fucking kill me.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's people who walk up to him.
That's what. Yeah, there was something recently. My room was like, someone got attacked or something by a moose, and I'm like, bro, have you ever read Hatchet? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it's like required in elementary school. He's like, what is that? I'm just kidding. It's this book where a guy crashes a plane. And there's a part where a moose like attacks him.
But
I'm like,
kid.
Yeah. He's like,
and
a teenager.
He wins with a hatchet. Is that the?
No, that's all he has.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's like if you like survival.
I'm picturing the cover. I feel like I know about.
It's good. You definitely probably had to read it. It's like required reading in elementary school, but like I don't know. That's like seared into my
Charlotte's
brain.
Web and like. What do we read?
Must be a Colorado thing. You're native.
Yeah.
See, native.
Okay.
Where are you from?
We had to California.
Yeah, I was like, I could like look at his curly shirt and like his little flat bill and be like, California, reggae rock.
I've been here since 2004. Damn it. The joke on the show is that I wish I was a Colorado native so bad. And when people think I am, because I don't always have a Hurley shirt and a flat bill hat, just 90% of the time. But I do get mistaken sometimes for being a Colorado native, and I've been known to.
He's like, don't
not
worry.
Proud of it. I'm not proud of it, but I don't correct.
You won't say anything to anybody.
You're Coloradan.
Colorading.
Yeah.
I think if you've been here for like, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2004. I've been here for 20 years.
I don't know.
But
But it is.
anniversary?
It is.
It's your 20 years. Like, you're going to throw a body?
Or was it 03?
Happy Coloradin or whatever, like Coloradin Day. I think it's the only thing, like, I mean, people once they've, like, been here for a while, like, I'm not like, there's not really that much difference. I think the only thing is like, it's weird, like the education piece, or like when you've grown up here, like there's funny things like you realize when you meet people also that live elsewhere that they don't do the same things. Like, did you do outdoor ed? Yeah. See, like things that like, do you know what that is? So nope. Like there's things, it's like it's in like 5th or 6th grade. I'm
thinking about it too, because outdoor ed, the book Hatchet, which is this tough ass fucker.
We're training ourselves to be in the mountains.
Colorado versus California. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting when you meet people where it's like versus. Don't you guys have like a lot of like out like your those schools are outdoor indoor in like California?
Yeah, those guys.
Did you grow up in California?
Yes, their schools. I did.
Yeah. So like, well, I'm like when people say that, I'm like, the hell are you talking about? Like, we would never fucking have like that's not existent here.
We joked around with that actually on an episode, like a couple episodes ago about the schools. I was like, I remember watching She's All That, and their like lockers are outside, and Tony was like, yeah, my lockers are outside too. I was like, what?
It's just like so there's things like that differences that you're like, oh well, now I can tell because you talk about like. Just or like if you know things about like Native American history, that's like required in elementary school, and people are like, "What?" It's like, "Well, did you not know that?" It's like, "Well, we had to learn that in elementary school."
Yeah,
which I'm glad we did, but like, there's just weird
Columbus.
things that you know.
So ridiculous.
And we also did in gym class. We learned to square dance.
Oh my god, we did! That's what. Yes, we did. You learn to square dance?
That's a good. Definitely.
I forgot that was an entire section of our gym. Like, because you know, like when you do your rounds, like you go back and they're like, "We're learning baseball. We're learning golf." One was square dancing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I could.
Like the art of square dancing, and we're not talking like we're in the not the pub. I'm trying to think of like we're in a saloon. Like we're talking old ass like square dancing where you're in a legit square doing like the
grab your partner around like just going around. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had to partner off like.
Was it a class?
It was in gym class. There's a whole section.
Yeah.
Wow. A whole unit.
Yeah. Like you go
on square
next.
dancing.
Yes, that's true.
Whoa.
Is there something weird that you can think of that you did in California?
What wasn't weird?
Did you guys have like a skateboarding class?
Yeah, skateboarding. We had a skateboarding unit in gym.
No, we had a skateboarding club. We did have that. It wasn't a class though. I don't know what was weird. I never did think about it. Every school was outdoor. My middle school and my high school were both like that. Lockers were always outside.
Fucking locker out here outside, frozen, bro. Like,
yeah, no shit.
It's harder when it's icy. You're like trying to pull it open. Like that's not happening.
I think people in Colorado are tougher, which is why it makes sense. I'm like, fucking, you would read Hatchet. We're reading Charlotte's Web, bro.
We read Charlotte's Web too.
A fucking spider that talked.
Yeah, that's like so. Outdoor ed is like you literally.
That was probably younger than Hatchet was. Probably a little older, like kindergarten reading.
We go into the they take 5th and 6th graders into.
Oh,
like I went to Rocky Mountain National Park for a week, and like we studied water, and we went like how to chlorify water or like different ways to clean water. Things that I'm like, God, I should sign up for Naked and Afraid. I shouldn't. I would last fucking 5 seconds on that show, but it is interesting.
I do love that
like
show.
There is like things that are like when I watch like. I shouldn't be alive, and they're like they veered off the trail. I'm like these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
and
we're always the armchair critics, right? Because I watched The Naked or Afraid too. I'm
sitting
like
there with a Coca-Cola
on the couch. He's like he's just laying down here. He could be making a whole house this whole time.
Yeah, the second they're like they veered off the path. Well, they're dead.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on now. Or they're like, oh, they were lost, but they kept moving. I'm like, bitch, just stay where you fucking are.
Yeah.
For as long as I'm just kidding. No, just basic things.
The Naked and Afraid thing, like the only thing that would really fucking kill me is
being
the
naked.
Bugs. No, the bugs. I couldn't.
Well, yeah, you're naked with the bugs.
That's the combo to me. The bugs
and naked.
That's a problem. It's different if you're mostly covered in clothing.
The hugs are always crack me up at the
try and be like a lady. Like I'm like I have an internal part, so like and there's bugs. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's been on episodes. You've seen.
What? That is. Ew, I don't want. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, that's so disgusting.
And there's also been on an episode too where a dude got fucking stung on his junk.
What?
And I just ended the show with being stung on a penis.
Incredible, Pierce. That's probably the best. We stuck the landing on that one. Episode 187. Jordan Yewey, thanks for coming. You have to come back. You're not a rookie anymore. You're going to be back to talk some more shit.
She has a new album coming out on the 21st of June, right?
Yeah, a single coming out and then an album, after that.
So if you're on Spotify, go check it out because you can pre-save it already and have it ready for your listening enjoyment. And with that $1, it is a wrap.
Cheers.